Did you know, to get a recruiter excited about your resume, and I mean really excited about your resume, there's a few trigger points you need to press. I call this my top 5 list, and today I'm going to reveal this list to you. I'm going to give you a few insights on what you can do to basically adjust your application to help strengthen the performance of your resume, and to give you some ideas on what actually goes through a recruiter's mind when they're reviewing each and every application. Top of my list would have to be position title. If your position title on your resume is matching that of the job vacancy, then chances are you're going to get the recruiter excited. For example, if you hold the role of program manager and the position being advertised is for a program manager, then it's a bit of a no-brainer. They're going to want to know who you are and what you've been doing within that role. So it's really important that you try to align your position title as closely as you can to the positions or the vacancies you are applying for. If you have an unusual position title that isn't what I call market friendly, then you may want to consider making changes to that role, or sorry, to your position title, to make sure it aligns with the market. Next up is competitors. Being able to steal a candidate from a competitor is like basically scoring a major transfer in the Football League. For example, if Coles are looking for a client relationship manager and somebody comes from Woolworths, then it's a bit of a no-brainer. That candidate can bring their own portfolio, can bring their own relationships, can bring their own network, as well as competitor information. So if your resume or the resume that a recruiter is screening is coming from a competitor, chances are they're going to put that on the priority list. Closely following getting somebody from a competitor is somebody with industry knowledge. Now, somebody with industry knowledge is seen as a major win because they don't require the same level of training as somebody who doesn't have that knowledge. For example, if you're getting somebody from Woolworths and they're migrating from Coles, they understand the industry. They understand the supermarket, the logistics, the suppliers, the customer. They basically get that part of the market. So that gives a lot more reassurance for the client. It means less training, less migration of knowledge, and it gives them a lot more value for money from that candidate. Now, if you are in an industry and it's very closely related to the industry that's applying or has the vacancy listed, then you may want to consider strategies on how you can incorporate some of the key wording or technical jargon so that it actually appears as if you do understand that industry. For example, if you are looking to apply for a construction company and you haven't worked directly for construction, but you have worked with those sort of contractor bases and you understand the types of contracts, the pricing, the methodologies used within that sector, then you want to bring that wording out in your resume, and that way people can see that your information, the content in your resume is actually very, very relevant for the job being advertised. So number 3 on my list would have to be industry knowledge. And if you don't have direct industry knowledge, to make sure you can incorporate something that can be very, very relevant for the business so they can pick up that you do actually understand their industry. Next up, let's talk technical skills. Now, each role or each job vacancy will typically have its own set of unique technical competencies. This is not what we call transferable skills. So we're not talking about stakeholder engagement, customer relations, reporting, communications, must have great workload management experience. We're talking about some very technical specifics to that role. For example, a position may be asking for somebody with SAP ERP skills. It might be asking for AutoCAD. It may be asking for a unique type of compliance skill set within the finance sector. It might be asking for agile project delivery. It's usually a technical skills relating to something that's very industry specific. So if you have those skill set, you need to make sure that it is properly integrated into your resume. It's highlighted into perhaps your professional profile area, the key skills area, and it's clearly defined in your job descriptions. So those resumes that have those technical specifics are usually picked up very, very quickly by recruiters and also by ATS systems. So make sure that you have those technical skills, you use them, and they are highlighted throughout your resume. finally on my list would have to be qualifications and certifications. A lot of job advertisements, you're going to see a requirement for a specific qualification, certification, or training of. So if you have that, it's important you have that listed and it's clearly stated in your resume. For example, if a business is looking for a CA, a chartered accountant, then you're going to need to really have that qualification. If they're looking for someone who is SAP certified or an Agile Program Manager certified, then you can also make sure that that is clearly listed in your resume. Now, there are chances where you can actually forego this. For example, if you're meeting all the other criteria, such as industry knowledge, competitors, and you have the same position titles, then you're ticking all the other boxes, then there is potential that they may forego those qualifications. One quick tip: if your resume is listing 100 qualifications and certifications, but a lot of those aren't relevant and it's creating too much noise, then I would really recommend taking quite a few of those off. Also, if you are overqualified, so for example, if you're applying for a junior role or graduate role, and you're holding a master's and this qualification, that qualification, then you've got to be a bit careful because you might be seen as overqualified. So my biggest suggestion would be keep the qualifications relevant for the job you're applying for. You don't always have to list everything. Just keep it simple, keep it relevant, keep it targeted to the role. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 elements that a recruiter would ideally like to see on every single resume. There are obviously other factors that play into account, but they're usually the 5 key structures that will help them decide very, very quickly if they want to call the candidate in for interview. Now, if you don't tick all 5 points, then you should still apply. Absolutely. Trying to get the closest match as possible will be your perfect strategy. So if you can tick 2, 3, or 4 of those boxes, then fantastic. And remember, employers aren't always looking for an exact match. They're looking for people to grow into the role. So use this information, use it to reverse strategize your job search. So what I mean by that is start searching for more like-for-like areas. Try and find organizations that are applying for roles in the same industry, where the qualification matches or the technical skills match as well. This will obviously help increase your chances and basically help you reduce down or narrow down your search strategy and make the conversion rates that bit more effective. So good luck with your job search. I hope you found this information useful. And if you would like to share some insights, comments, or any past experiences, please drop us a line in the comments below.